We're joined now by MLB and NFL analyst for DraftKings, Steve Buchanan.
Appreciate you having me on, Steve.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for coming on.
Of course.
First, I guess, why don't you just tell everybody about how you got into cards, when you started collecting?
Yeah, definitely during COVID, it was a means to kill the time and everything. So definitely got in on the boom and probably made some horrendous buys during that time as well that we don't need to discuss. But I've been pretty heavy into it since. DraftKings for a little while was doing card breaks as well. We're no longer doing that, so that's not a plug. But we got into that for a little bit. Unfortunately, ended that. But I mean, I just love doing card breaks. I love being involved in it. So when you reached out to me, I was thrilled to be able to join you and everything. I've been a customer at Steel City for a couple of years now too as well. So was happy to do that and happy to be here. And this break absolutely rules. When I saw what you made, like I was like thinking like I don't even know what team I would want to go for because there's so many good teams in so many different years. So hopefully pull some good stuff. And again, I appreciate you having me on.
Oh yeah, no problem whatsoever. I know we've talked a few times in the past because I saw that. I think the first time you emailed me, you had DraftKings as a signature, and I was like, well, I was
Yes.
going to ask if you were that Steve Buchanan, but I guess that answers it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, man. And like I said, I've been a fan of Steel City. You guys got some good stuff over here, so happy to join you guys and chop it up for a little while and break some stuff.
All right. All right, Trav. Again, guys, anybody has any questions? I just saw the post the other day. I retweeted it on the Steel City account. Steve covered all of the futures odds for every division of Major League Baseball. So, any questions you guys have, or anything you want to know about that, feel free to type it in the chat there. We'll get that asked to Steve there. I saw the Pirates at 78 wins. Let's hope they can hit 81.
You take the over on that one?
I don't know if I'd take the over on that one, but I would be happy if they hit it.
I would see. I'm worried about Jared Jones. I don't know if we've gotten word on if what's ended up happening with him, but that was a bummer because he was somebody that I actually, talk about potential bad buys. He was somebody I was investing in over the offseason because, all the attention is on Paul Skeens and everything, but it's like Jared Jones is legit, like very young. He's got good stuff. Like he's somebody I was excited about. So I'm really hoping that this ends up being a little bit of nothing. But that was some bad news to hear the other day.
Yeah, I saw they got an opinion, and they said it wasn't the opinion that they wanted. So
Okay.
they're waiting on something else, and I thought, well, that's probably not good. Whenever
that sounds like the same course that we got with Garrett Cole.
Yeah, it's. I was wondering why I had half the screen there. I figured it out. I'm not a technology guy, so every time we do these, I run into a bump, and then I have to figure it out.
No, you're good, man. No worries on my end.
Yeah, we're definitely excited to have you here. Again, covers baseball and NFL, so I'm sure you have some draft stuff you've been prepping as well.
Oh yeah, this is like it's the worst time of the year and it's the best time of year because I love baseball coming, but it's also the NFL draft. Like there's so much going on and trying to keep up with everything is definitely a little bit of a challenge, but we enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it's a lot going on, but it's great for us sports fans. We get a little bit of everything going.
No doubt. Hey, let me ask you because I know you're a big wrestling guy. What did you think of that bump by Moxley the other night?
As a fan, that was great. As a person, ow. Like, why?
Right.
So my wife watches wrestling with me now, and whenever he took that bump, she's like, "Why is he doing that?" And she's like, went into her phone. She's like, "I'm done."
Right.
And I said, I don't know who came up with the idea. I'm guessing it was Moxley's idea because he's crazy.
Right.
So I'm guessing Moxley was like, "Hey, let me do this." Tony Khan okaying that. I don't know why. Like that's.
Yeah, that was something.
They impaled him. That could have done serious damage. I mean, I know it probably worked a little bit, but you saw what the issue is getting that spike out of his back. I mean, that was rough. That looked
and
bad.
On top of that, supposedly he drove to the arena because of all the issues, and it took like 11 hours to drive there. So he drove 11 hours to get the spikes in his back.
I was telling Brett, who also breaks here, that a few years ago Matt Cardona tweeted out a picture of his bed at a hotel because he did one of his death matches. I think it was one of the ones with Nick Gage, and he like I think he hit something explosive. And it like just
Yeah.
took the skin off of him, and while he was sleeping in his hotel room, his bandage came off, and he just
Oh wow.
drenched the bed. And he's like, "Do you think they believe that I came in this way?" And it's like, oh,
Right.
like, hey, I appreciate those guys doing that for our entertainment. I just
Without a doubt.
I just hope they are a little bit more cautious with it. Whatever they
Yeah,
do.
without a doubt.
Let me throw this bag in here. We'll get underway. You're going to disappear for a second. I'll read off the names to the team.
Yep, of course.
I'll bring you right back.
Excellent.
Let's see here, because I have the chat down. So yeah, guys. Anybody have any questions? Throw them in. That's what Steve's here for. He's here to answer our questions about our betting futures with the MLB season. What, a week away now.
Yep.
All right. Again, this break is our 20 product pick your team break with Steve Buchanan of DraftKings. I'm going to jump over here and I'll bring this list up. We have Brandon with the Diamondbacks, Eric the Braves, Phil with the Orioles, Molly with the Red Sox, Justin the Cubs, Greg with the White Sox, Molly the Reds, Brandon the Guardians, Gregory with the Rockies and Tigers, Greg M with the Astros, Andy the Royals, James with the Angels, Molly the Dodgers, Arlie with the Marlins, Scott with the Brewers, Brandon the Twins, Gregory the Mets, Molly with the Yankees, Israel the A's, Brian with the Phillies, Molly the Pirates. Trav says, will the Giants be last in the West? Andy with the Padres,
Oh
Travis
boy.
with the Giants, Arlie with the Mariners, Gregory the Cardinals, Miguel with the Rays, Mike with the Rangers, Gregory the Blue Jays, and Matthew with the Nationals. Bring these back in here. There we are.
The nice thing about the West is that you do have the Rockies, so I feel like last place is already been clinched. So maybe fourth.
That's like with the Pirates. The Cardinals are so bad now that we might be better than the Cardinals. Maybe.
I'll tell you, man, that NL Central is wide open. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I think that's wide open for sure.
I don't think the Cubs are as strong as everybody. I mean, maybe it's just because everybody else is so weak that the Cubs are such a favorite. But I don't think the Cubs are all that strong either.
I'm with you. And, Justin Steele went during Japan there. Didn't look particularly sharp. I like him a lot. But there's just a lot of teams, particularly in the National League too, that just smash lefties. And he throws like two pitches. He's like primarily a fastball slider guy. And, I feel like he's just got to add something else to that repertoire if he wants to really kind of succeed, because he's got good stuff. But, when you're, throwing fastball slider 88% of the time, stuff, they're going to catch on quick. So like him a lot, but he's got some work to do.
It's always seemed that way, that the softball lefties kind of always get propped up because people need a left-handed starter. I mean, we had Paul Maholm here in Pittsburgh for years, and he was never really a strong-arm pitcher, but those guys last for a long time. All right, we have 2022 Topps Pristine Hobby Box. We're doing first here. We have a Mason Thompson. And speaking of the Japan series, Will Smith, game-worn memorabilia, jersey autograph, first pack, 24 of 50 for the Dodgers. And that's a nice hit for Molly. Starting off strong there with Will Smith.
I love this set, by the way. I feel like it doesn't get enough love. I don't know why, but like this is like one of my favorite sets. Like when I think about baseball sets that I love, Pristine is one of them, and then Cosmic Baseball has quickly become one of my favorites too as well. Like two I don't think get enough credit, but I think they're just beautiful cards, especially Pristine. I love this set.
Yeah, absolutely. And Nolan Arenado, autograph for the Cardinals. That's a nice one too. Nolan Arenado, St. Louis. Going to Gregory.
Shocked he's still in St. Louis, by the way.
Yeah.
Really didn't think that would end up he would end up staying there.
I'm not sure what the purpose of that is. I mean,
right.
He doesn't really seem like the kind of guy that you would deal with a deadline deal. He has like he probably has like a pretty good no trade, right? In St. Louis.
Yeah, and I mean that's really what it was. He's very specific on where he wants to go because he's figuring that's going to be his last landing spot. But I would think getting out of the Cardinals would probably be ideal at this point.
and maybe that's what it is too. Is he's waiting for the deadline? Maybe he wants to contend because he's never really had a chance to do that as a Rocky, and with the Cardinals right now. Steve Borders Kershaw. Yeah, I did wake up for the first game.
Yeah, me too.
The second one, I did not make it up.
I passed on the second one. I passed on the second one. Especially when I have no dog in the fight, so to me it's like, I'll get up for, quote unquote opening day, and then we'll go back to spring training after this. But I couldn't do day 2.
Yeah,
Day 1 was enough for me.
Castellanos, number to 99. I missed every Ohtani at bat where he did something. I missed his single, I missed his double, and I missed his home run. So I watched him strike out.
That was a gift home run too, by the way. They wanted to get that crowd rocking. That was a little bit of a gift. I'll stand by that theory too.
Ron Santo here, number 10 and 15 for the Cubs. Nate says don't count on his Cubbies.
I mean, look, they're probably the best team in that division. Especially, I think Milwaukee's taking a step back too as well. So you probably will win that, by default. But I think Pittsburgh's right there. I think the Reds are right there too. Love Terry Francona. He could really do wonders for that team. I think that's definitely something to keep an eye on too. But I just, the Brewers have the second best odds to win the division, and I don't even think they're close. I don't think they're close at all.
Yeah. Like you said, with the Jared Jones injury, that really concerns me about the Pirates.
That's devastating.
That they needed him, and now he's out. If it's severe, that's this year plus part of next year. So
without a doubt,
we have a gold Jose Ramirez autograph. This is a really nice box, 18 of 50 for the Guardians. And Cleveland going to Brandon.
It's a nice one. I feel like you don't see his autos pop up a lot, Ramirez.
No, I think he's one of the most underrated players of the generation.
Sure.
He's a 30-30 guy. He's great. He's always there. I think he's the reason the Guardians are still a contender for the playoffs every year. And just maybe it's because it's Cleveland. It's a small market. He doesn't get the respect he deserves, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
Juan Gonzalez gold, 6 of 50.
What's the next big baseball set coming out after this?
Well,
not for a couple months, right?
I don't know if it's too big, but we do have Heritage High Number next week, which will have Paul Skeens rookies in it. And stuff. Like he'll have his real one autographs in there for his rookies.
Yep.
But I think the next big one, I know they got Bowman in May. They just announced.
Nice. Okay.
I think they have a lot of football in April. I think that's what.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Ron Santo, 41 of 99. So I do know Inception football is coming. I think there's another one there too. Maybe a Bowman University or something that I saw coming up.
Yep.
But it's more football heavy.
Yeah.
For the next little bit here, Austin Meadows refractor as well. All right, there's so many here. I don't know what to grab next. 2023 Bowman Inception. Yeah, I loaded up my fantasy team. I got Ohtani, Tatis, and Julio Rodriguez, but I have nothing else because I traded everything for those three.
Yeah. I love Tatis. I hope he can stay healthy this year, man. He's such a great player. Yep. I'd love for him to stay healthy for a year. My first big card after I started collecting, I got a 101 Tatis Superfractor out of his second year out of Bowman's Best.
Nice.
That was my first big hit. And then that's where I guess you're hooked. That's like hitting one of the big parlays. You get one of those and now you're hooked for good. And here we are. Here we are at Steel City doing a break together. It all came from that.
Angel Aponte, 60 of 75 for the Blue Jays. Yeah, I am not a Notre Dame fan at all. I never have been. We have Angel Genoa, number to 50, again for the Guardians. So my first big parlay hit was I can't even remember who they were playing, but I had everything on the other team, and they scored in the last minute to beat Notre Dame. I was like, oh yeah. I'm betting now. But I think I told you, baseball. I've read a lot of your articles, and I do read as much as I can on baseball because there's a lot more that goes in to deciding who you're going to bet on. Lineup change daily. It depends on how long the starting pitchers go, the bullpen. Do you have anything that you look at? Say you're going to place a bet on an over/under or a team, scoring the runs that day, covering the spread. Do you have any main things that you look at whenever you place that bet?
I mean, lineups are always so critical because that can change drastically. Like, good example was day one, game one, I should say, for that Dodgers game with the Cubs. Freddie Freeman was a late scratch. I mean, that makes a difference. And when you take somebody a dynamic out of him out of the lineup, a lot of people don't have time to react, so the total could still say pretty inflated. Because I know that game ended up going under. It was like 7.5 runs. I think it was 6 scored total. But just things like that, just like being in tune with the news. Like, Twitter is such a pivotal tool to get that type of information. Where I work at DraftKings, we have a website, DraftKings Network. That's where all my articles are posted, and we're very reactionary to the news there. But just keeping an eye on those lineups, and just that's so critical because people will just base on teams or whatever. Like, there's so much more into it. I don't care what anybody says. I will say, and take this to my grave, baseball is the hardest sport to bet on, period. Like, I will take
I will
it
agree with
is.
that.
And for whatever reason, this is what I chose, like, for a career. Like, I could have done anything else, but this is what I landed on. But baseball is the hardest sport to bet on. I really truly believe that, especially if you're not paying attention to stuff like that.
Yeah, it's rough, and I know even setting daily lineups.
Yep.
I play DraftKings a lot. Setting daily lineups, you got to check the weather. You got to check everything with
Yes.
baseball because it
Everything.
changes so much. We got a 24 archives box here.
I like to think that I do a lot of the legwork for you. And that's why when I have these articles out, the work is done for you. Let me get all through the nitty gritty stuff and try to help you. So, but it's fun. I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, truly.
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun. I told you my baseball betting has never been the best. So I've picked up on reading your articles, and I try to take as much advice from guys like you that know what you're doing as much as possible.
I'd like to think so. I mean, look, we're gonna lose sometimes, we're gonna win sometimes. Like, anybody who
Exactly.
tells you they're a career winner is an absolute liar, because we're gonna lose most of the time. But at least we felt like we had a godforsaken chance. That's how I look at it.
Yep, I think that's so important too when it comes to the betting is you have to be prepared that you're
Yeah.
gonna take your bumps.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know especially if you're playing like daily, nobody places every single time, and
Yep.
it's just managing yourself, getting it right, knowing what you're doing,
Yep.
and
Without a doubt.
that's very important. Our autograph here, it's Don Rafaela.
That's a nice one.
Auto. It's a nice rookie autograph for the Red Sox.
The Red Sox, when update series ends up coming out, that is going to be the team, man, because those, probably Mayer, Campbell, like the rookie cards, like, I can't wait for update series, because if they end up carrying those rookie cards, Red Sox are going to be such a great team to have, like Baltimore was a couple years ago when they had all the rookies coming up. Like, which year is this one? This 2023?
24.
Oh, 24. Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? They're probably gonna have Roman Anthony up sometime this year too.
Yeah, so I think Marcelo could end up cracking the lineup. I think he actually is going to end up being the second baseman. And then Roman Anthony should definitely be up at some point, and then Campbell as well. We'll see what happens there, but it's kind of like the Orioles. They got a bit of a logjam because they have so many good rookies right now, but they don't have enough room for them at this point. That's why you have, like, Mayer playing second base when he's naturally a shortstop. Just as long as Devers is DH, I'm happy. That's all I care about. He is statistically the worst fielding third baseman since, I think, 2017, and he started playing in 2018. That's how bad it's been. Like, it's incredible. It's incredible, and he's abysmal.
And from what I heard, he's pretty adamant about staying at third base too. He wants to stay
So
there.
supposedly he's changed his tune. We'll see if that comes to fruition. But if you truly want to do what's best for the team, then you got a DH. I mean, he's a major liability on the field.
And with the Red Sox, with all the young talent, I mean, they could really make a run this year. And with the Yankees losing pitchers the way they have, I mean, that really opens that division up for a team like the Red Sox to surprise some people. So I agree with you there on the young guys, how exciting that's going to be. I mean, I can't wait to watch all those young 20-year-old stud prospects in the Red Sox.
And that's why, like, going back to DraftKings, like the Red Sox to have the third best odds to win the division right now, I think is crazy. Because like the Yankees are still the favorites, and why? You lost Stanton potentially, you lost Cole for sure, you lost Luis Heel for the year. I mean, they're losing guys left and right, and they're such an old team, right? Like they have all the like DJ LeMahieu, I think, is still starting for them. Like Christ, like how old is DJ LeMahieu at this point? Like I say he's old, and I think he's the same age as I am. So like I got to be careful.
But
But like
in
these
baseball
aren't
terms, that's old.
right
Like
baseball
we can
terms.
say
He's
that.
ancient. He's ancient. They got to wheel him out there. But I don't see it with the Yankees right now, and I feel like I say this a lot, and they perform well, but like they got some issues, especially in that offense. I don't think they have enough. Baltimore's getting better. Red Sox got better. Blue Jays aren't there, but you add Santander. That's a good ad. That's a good bat. If Bo Bichette starts hitting again, then you might get something again.
Taylor Wall's autograph here for the Rays. Yeah, I was looking at that myself. I heard, I think it was Steve Phillips, the former general manager, said that he was talking to the general manager and the manager at for Texas, and they told him that Jacob DeGrom looks amazing and he looks really healthy. So I know I placed a bet because I think at DraftKings he was plus 1,400. So I placed a bet on him. It was a small one, but I placed a bet for the Cy Young because they said he looks really good. And I thought, if that's Jacob DeGrom of a few years ago, I'll take it. But at plus
So you placed it for this year?
Oh yeah.
Steve? Don't like it. Now, here's my only gripe. So, you're getting a great number on Jacob DeGrom, okay? Because if he's pitching healthy, he's normal, he's one of the favorites. He's, plus 200, plus 300. I worry about the durability because, like, innings-wise, he hasn't been there for years. 4 years now. So for him to realistically get through an entire season is going to be a stretch.
Yeah.
But what I will say, and I will say that you did the right thing, you should never be betting favorites, especially for these awards, preseason. Because it doesn't make sense. Like Paul Skeens is the odds-on favorite to win the Cy Young. Does he have the ability to win the Cy Young? Of course. But I think he's plus 350 right now. Do you think that you're going to get a better number than plus 350 during the season? Probably. Because if Skeen has a couple of bad starts, the odds shift. Now maybe he's 7-1 or whatever. Or maybe he gets injured and he misses a couple weeks. Like you're going to get a better number. So if you're betting, like, especially these awards, these MVPs, do the long shots because you can always hedge on that. You can cash out, but you're getting those huge numbers, and that's where you can potentially kind of cash in here. And so that's kind of where I'm at with these awards. Like, for example, Cy Young, I think Joe Ryan has a chance in the American League. I love his stuff. Good pitcher for the Minnesota Twins, and he's 45-1 to win, right? Like that's something that I can throw $10 on, get a good payout if it works out. But if he doesn't, no harm, no foul. It wasn't a huge play for me. So that's kind of where my head is at when betting these like futures for the awards, guys, which kind of where you were at.
Yeah.
I don't think Jacob DeGrom's going to win, but you have the right idea. You know what? If he wins, I will come on here and say Steve's a genius and he made the right play. I will do that for you if it happens.
It wasn't Steve. It was Steve Phillips. It's the right
oh,
Steve. Okay. Those guys are locked in, him and the other one that's on the Draft Network, the other GM. I always forget his name. The one that was the GM of the Reds. They always cover, everything. They always have GMs on. They always talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how much those guys blow smoke because we see it from managers and
Sure.
GMs in the media all the time. But here's a 2020 gallery. But I figured it was worth a shot. A couple bucks, pays 14-1. We'll go for that.
You just, you don't get coffee that morning. That's all. It's,
Exactly.
it is what it is.
But I normally don't do futures. I like betting weekly, especially because I'm a big time football guy. But I love betting weekly, or if I do a lot of stuff on baseball, it's usually if I read your article, or if I see something somewhere that I like, and I check out the numbers that morning, and I see something I like, I'll place a bet that day. But yeah, baseball, I agree. It's really tough. At least for me. So I always look up for advice from the experts if I'm taking my chances on betting that day.
Yeah, I mean it's tough for me too, and I do this every day of my life. So I'm with you. I do love betting football though. I think football is so much fun. Like I love betting props for football. That's where I think you can really kind of exploit the market. Tougher for baseball because it's such. I mean that's the thing too, because like for football it's like, oh, so and so is out. They're missing their top corner, so this is going to open up stuff for DK Metcalf. Like that makes sense. You
Yep.
don't have that type of stuff in baseball. It's just kind of if this guy plays well or not. So it's a lot tougher. But I enjoy watching baseball. Like I love it. I do it obviously every night because you have to really be in tune with it. But football is a lot of fun too. I do like doing football a lot.
Yeah. For me, baseball usually lasts about half the year until I get frustrated with the Pirates. Yeah, it's just Tinoco here for the Rockies, number to 99. But no, I do. I watch a decent amount of baseball. I've always loved the game. I was telling somebody the other day, whenever I was a kid, I was playing with my neighbors. We would have to mirror everybody's stances. So I've always had that love for baseball.
Yeah.
I haven't developed it into the craft of betting for myself yet. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a fun game, and like I said, there's so many young guys now. I think the prospects are just amazing that we see everywhere. So I think that also brings a lot to the game as well.
It's a good time to be a fan. It's
Now,
definitely a good time to be a fan right now.
I think I saw that Jason Dominguez is the odds-on favorite for American League Rookie of the Year.
I think that's horrible.
I do too.
Have you seen him? Have you seen him try to field?
No,
Holy crap, he can't field a lick. It's so offensively, he's gifted. He's very gifted, and this is kind of why he blew through the minors and is where he is now. But I worry about, unless he's DHing, if he's going to continue to have a spot on the roster. That's what I worry about, because his fielding, at least to start, has been really, really bad. And it's like one of those things where his fielding is going to cost them a game at some point, or is going to, cost them a big inning. And that could be like the turning point where it's like, okay, we can't keep doing this anymore. So that's what I worry about. So if it was just based on offense, and I'd say, yeah, he's a great pick right now, but the way he's fielding, I just don't know. Did we get him twice?
we did. I was just gonna say we hit Jesus Tinoco twice from the Rockies.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I don't know who
no,
he is.
I don't either. That's horrible. So to get guaranteed 2 autos, and it's the same guy who's probably not even in the league anymore. Oh, that's terrible. Shout out to the Rockies, though. If you took the Rockies, you got double hits. No, here he is again. Oh my God.
He's everywhere.
Nobody even knows who he is.
That's why he's not playing. They're like, we need somebody to call up, and they didn't even know they had him.
I know.
He's just there somewhere.
What was his first name?
Jesus.
I'm looking him up.
He's a pitcher. Looks like he's a relief pitcher.
He's with Miami now.
There we go. Still
all right, so he's still in the league at least. Has a 9.72 ERA in the spring through 8 games.
All right, don't bet on him for Cy Young.
Yeah. Actually, he was pretty decent last year. He was with 3 teams last year: Texas, Chicago, and the Marlins. So he's a renowned traveler too. But yeah, learn something every day. Didn't even know he was in the league, but hopefully he turns it around for the Rockies teams there.
Yep, he's gonna be the rule age reliever of the year. Do they still have that?
I think they do.
There we go. It's him. Now I was saying about the Jason Dominguez, and you said you don't like him. I think Cam Smith's probably picking up. I'm guessing there's a lot of bets coming in on him. Do you
without a doubt.
Him over the Red Sox prospects that are going to have less time in the season? Or are you looking at some of those Red Sox guys and thinking they might play enough and trying to go that way with your betting on this?
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the rookies too is that, especially, I feel like it's not a matter of how they did throughout the year, because like last year or the year before, I'm blanking on which it was, but Colton Cowser was doing incredible when he came up. I think this was last year, and he was hitting very, very well, and like statistically, he was right in the running for rookie of the year, but I'm trying to think of who won it last. I don't know why I'm blanking on who won it last year. Um, but regardless, Cowser kind of tailed off near the end of September, and that just kind of did it in for him because like Cowser was hitting like he was getting a lot of good hits, like clutch hits. He was showing his power and everything. Like he was doing very well, and statistically, like it looked like he should have won, but just you kind of tail off September, and that's what people when they're especially when they're voting, that's what they kind of remember, and that's what they kind of I don't want to say like that's what they go off of, but like it feels a lot like especially those type of awards. It was a what have you done for me lately? How were you in the last couple of months of the year? So even if guys like Marcelo comes up later, if he comes up and starts hitting well, he's going to be right in the running regardless of how long he ends up playing. So that's like again that's why I think you got to be cautious about some of these awards, especially rookie of the year, because you're going to have guys bouncing up and down from the minors and whatnot. So that one is definitely one to be leery about, because like there's guys who are like 8-1, 9-1 who aren't even going to be playing to start the year, but it's just talent wise they're there. But yeah, going back to your question about Cam Smith, he definitely is in the running for one of the favorites in terms of like money and bets that have come in so far for that award.
Yeah, I thought everybody was kind of shocked by the trade whenever it happened. Cam Smith just drafted, traded for Kyle Tucker, but I think he has that potential there that people are seeing now.
Honestly, like if you have an opportunity to grab somebody like Kyle Tucker, like you do it. Like he is one of the rare guys that's going to hit you 30 home runs. He's going to steal you 30 plus bases. That is going to do it. Like those are those dynamic guys that are make a difference in that lineup, and especially like in that Cubs lineup. Like, and I think that's a big reason why people like them this year. You put Kyle Tucker at the top of that lineup with Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, Kyle Tucker. Like that's a different looking lineup because now you won't feel the loss of Cody Bellinger as much, because that was a huge loss power wise, but now you're getting somebody who is going to hit and steal, and Bellinger's not that guy who's going to steal. He's just such a dual threat that I love that. I love that move for the Cubs, even though it was a hefty one, a hefty cost.
Now you're down on the Yankees, but Aaron Judge is probably still the favorite at MVP right now.
Yes.
Are you hedging away from that? Are you looking at somebody else that you see catch a drive? I think in the National League, everybody's just on Ohtani all the time. So
I mean, Ohtani is almost even money to win the MVP, which is absurd. Do not take that bet right now. But like you will get a better number. Even if you end up getting 3-1, it's much better than the plus 170 right now. But again, just going back to what I said earlier, like, is Judge capable of winning? Of course. Is Bobby Witt capable of winning? Of course. But like, I'm looking at guys that could be more of a value. Like Julio Rodriguez is 20-1 to win the MVP. Like that is a dude that has all the tools to potentially win an MVP, and I'm getting a good number on him at 20-1 because he really kind of tailed off in his sophomore season. But especially near the end of the year, we started to kind of see some glimpses again of what we saw in his rookie year. Like that's somebody I'm targeting at MVP at this point of the season before we kick off. Like I think that's a good value at 20-1. That's somebody to consider. He's the one I kind of look at. And then I even think like somebody like Jarren Duran, who really broke out last year for the Red Sox, has a lot of protection behind him now with Bregman. Like he's going to see those pitches to start the game. He's at 35-1. He's somebody that can also hit 30 home runs, steal 30 bases. Like that's a rarity. That's something that will get you MVP votes. So, guys like that, I think is something to definitely consider.
Yeah, I didn't even think about Bobby Witt. I was trying to go through my head, like, who is the next guy? And it's obvious there, Bobby Witt.
Honestly, it's too bad because Witt would have been a unanimous if it wasn't for Judge last year, truly. Like, Witt had just such an unbelievable year, but unfortunately, Judge was there again. You know what I mean? Like, but that's okay because Witt is going to be in that conversation for years to come. He is so uber talented. I love I love Witt. I wish I invested in him more. I was like just perusing yesterday on eBay, just seeing what his stuff's going for. Like his Sapphire rookies, PSA 10 are like $450.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's crazy. Like that's not numbered, nothing. It's just a base Sapphire is, $450 a PSA 10. Like that's insane to me. But that's it. Just goes. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's I I know 2022, like the products, the prices have dropped from that of a few years ago. You know, whenever things were a lot heavier, and I just don't get it. Like I get people are shying away because Julio Rodriguez had a little bit of a rough year last year, but
Yeah.
Julio Rodriguez is still amazing. Like that,
Yeah.
like the guy didn't lose everything that he had year one over the last, or even year two. Like last year,
Yep.
yeah, he struggled, but I don't think you can write off Julio Rodriguez that easily.
I'm telling you right now, if you have the opportunity to scoop some 2022 product, you should do it. There are so many good rookies in that class that, like, when I compare to like football, if you can scoop up 2020 product, you do it, right? Because that is just a loaded class.
Yep.
2022 is that for baseball. And especially guys like Julio, like you said, like he's so cheap right now. Take advantage of that. He's gonna be around. Like he's not going anywhere. He's a good player. There's a reason why these guys blew through the minors and are where they are. Like, grab that if you can.
Nice Corey Seager there. Die cut number to 99.
I'm sorry, I missed when we is this Club Chrome? Stadium
Club.
Yeah.
Stadium Club. It's the comeback box of Stadium Club. So it had one auto. It was Tristan Gray. But we still could get Skeens rookies. All the rookies from last year. There's Jordan Lawler.
Yep.
Speaking of guys that can't stay healthy. He
Yeah.
has a lot of tools too and just never there.
Yep. But he's another guy like I would be willing to buy low on is Jordan Lawler. I think there's still some something in there. And you're not going to get him cheaper. If he starts coming up and starts playing, like that price is going to go up. But he's probably like at his stone minimum right now, which would be crazy to think about 2-3 years ago when that's what everybody was chasing, you know?
Yep. I think I haven't looked. I'm guessing the prices went up on him, but Christian Moore, who might even break camp or very early in the season, is going to be there with the Angels because they're obviously always the team to push their prospects quick.
Yep.
Christian Moore had a ton of power last year in the minors.
He did.
Excited to see what he does. I felt like his power come out of nowhere.
The Angels were also kind of sort of active during free agency. They signed a couple guys, like they got Kikuchi. They signed him to a 3-year deal. Like they made some moves in the. I mean, they're still gonna suck, but I mean, they at least were somewhat active.
They never made it thing to go out and get a top pitcher. That's just never been in the Angels' DNA for whatever reason. Freddie Freeman there, orange refractor out of 25.
It's so funny seeing him in a Braves uniform now, even though that's what you're so accustomed to. But now I'm so used to him being in a Dodgers uniform now. So when I see him in a Braves, it's like that's the weird look now. That's weird.
23 Stadium Club. I think Gunnar was up in time to be in this product.
I think you're right.
Juan Soto jumbo card there. What do you think about him with the Mets? Think that
I
love
love
the Mets somewhere? Or?
Yeah, I love it. I think that's I mean, obviously when you have the opportunity to sign him, you do so. And I don't like the contract because he's going to be under contract until he's 41. I think it is. I mean that's a baseball problem at this point where contracts are getting so absurd that you and I just talked about what a great time it is to be a fan. Let's revisit that in 7-8 years when we have, old man Soto trotting out to the field and, Xander Bogaerts on year 20 of his contract with the Padres. Like, let's see how we love baseball then. But, I think it's huge for them. So bringing in Soto and then being able to bring Alonso back for, I think that was a 2-year deal. That's their window. That's where they got to get something done. And, they got the pitching. They brought in Clay Holmes. Like they got the pitching. They got the offense. Hopefully the bullpen can hold up. But, that's going to be a really, really fun division with the Braves, the Phillies, and the Mets all kind of clamped together there.
Yeah, I've always liked Alonso. I can remember whenever he was going to break camp with the club in 19. I was pretty excited to see it because he had that power, and I like watching those guys hit the ball a mile. I know he had it down year last year, but adding Soto gives him so much protection that seeing 50 home runs from Alonso is not out of the question this year at all.
Not at all. I was surprised at the lack of market for him. I thought that was very surprising. I did not expect that at all. I thought he was going to be one of the first dominoes to fall, but he was, one of the last, oddly. I was just very surprised. I mean, he must have been asking for an arm and a leg. That's the only thing I can think of because, sure, he wasn't, he had a quote unquote down year, but you put him in a different atmosphere. You put him in a hitter's ballpark. I mean, he's gonna annihilate. So I was surprised that the Mets were able to get him back at the price that they did and the short term. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when he ends up hitting the market again.
Yeah, I guess Houston wouldn't have the room for him, but I'd love to see a power righty like that with that short porch in Houston.
I mean, I would have taken Alonso over Christian Walker. That I thought that was a little odd. Walker's fine. I think he's hurt already. Walker's fine, but it just feels like the Astros haven't been able to recover. Excuse me, at first base since they got rid of Jose Abreu. I think it just feels like it's just been a carousel of characters at first base since.
Yeah, and he kind of disappeared. I mean, I know
Abreu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he got released and nobody picked him up. I mean, that just shows how fast he fell off. Like that was such a dramatic fall from grace because he was like, the hot commodity when he was done with the White Sox, and then it was just, he was okay when he first got to Houston, but he floundered fast, and that lineup too. That's difficult, right? You like talk about protection at the time. You had Alvarez, you had Bregman, you have Altuve. Like the protection was there, and there you go. There's the answer to your question. It was surprising and it was unfortunate because he was a fun player to watch during his time with the White Sox.
Yeah, I was always a big Abreu fan myself. It was really sad to see him just go away.
Yeah,
he spent the time in the minors. It's like he deserved better than that, but I guess he just didn't have it anymore.
Nope.
That was a terrible thing to have happen to one of your favorites. But yeah, I mean it happens to everybody, I guess.
Absolutely. It's gonna happen to you and I too one day, Steve.
Nah, not me. I'm good. I'm out here to break the laws of physics. That's
there you go. I like this product. I just always have a difficult time figuring out what are like the short prints or what are the because the first time I opened this I thought I had like a hot box because they flipped so many cards and I was like, oh, this is every pack.
Yeah.
So this is every pack. So I like it. I like the different designs and everything, but that's my only gripe is I feel like it's difficult. Like obviously so is that one?
It's a black, so it's a parallel.
Okay. Yeah.
But honestly, I can't remember from 23 what the different odds were. There's a guy too that I was really excited about whenever he was in Cleveland. He got shipped to Colorado, and you think, all right, now he's gonna light it up there, and he just hasn't really done anything in Colorado either.
I know. Neither is Colorado.
That's true. There's not much there in terms of Colorado. That's like everybody's excited about Dollander. It's like, well, that's great, but half his games are going to come at Coors. So
totally, yeah, totally.
I'll pass on that. Let's go for a big one here. 2018 Gallery. We get 2 autographs. Ohtani and Acuna both have autographs in here.
Now this was a retail, right? Even though it has the 2 autos.
Yes, they were exclusive to retail. There were no hobbies in these releases.
Have they stopped doing this? Have they stopped doing Gallery? I feel like as of last year they stopped doing Gallery. Correct?
I didn't see a Gallery 24.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did it last year, or if there's even plans for it to be coming.
Yeah. See, now I think that's too bad because, like, if especially like for the younger people who are collecting, like I feel like this was like their hobby box, like, and it was opportunities to kind of get something cool. So I was a little disappointed at this stop, but like, yeah, I mean for affordability, like at the time, like this was unbelievable value at the time. They guarantee 2 autos and a retail product.
Yeah, I think they retailed at like $60-$70, and it's like it's so hard to pull autographs out of blasters, but getting a retail product with 2 was something.
Right.
Anthony Banda there for the Rays.
Now this is the Judge rookie year, correct?
Acuna and Ohtani.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yep.
18. I do have 17 in here. It's Bowman and Series 2. So we'll be going for Judge in those. Hoskins rookie. Yeah, the 18 stuff's tough because Soto, I can't remember it, but I guess he came up pretty late because he's only in a limited amount of products.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, there's a Ronald Acuna Jr. rookie.
I think he's starting the year on the IL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's another guy that, like, for the Braves, whenever they get him back, that's like for other teams that are making moves on the deadline, nobody's getting a Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yep.
Like that's just
Absolutely.
different. So I think the Braves just have to tread water, stay close. Oh, there is Soto.
There you
Juan
go.
Soto rookie for the Nationals. Nice card there. So we just hit for the Braves, Eric, and the Nationals, Matthew. Two of the top rookies. And Harrison Bader, rookie autograph. Now he's
And
kind of
I
came
loved
along a
him when
little
he
bit.
was yeah, I loved him when he was on St. Louis. That guy is a left-handed hitting masher. He mashes left-handed pitching. I that always stuck out to me when he came up. I remember like always writing him up when he was facing a lefty. Dude has crazy numbers against lefties, but he just can't latch on because like he doesn't hit both sides of the plate well. And that's like to his detriment. But like he's a great platoon player. He's not every day. He's not every day.
But and a lot of teams use that platoon
Oh
strategy,
yeah.
especially more now than even a few years ago. So you would
Yep.
think like somebody like him has a good role on a team.
Yep. Definitely.
Going back to my Pirates, I mean, looking like they said they was going to try to do something because this is their window, and now with the, the news on Jared Jones, maybe that's not what they're looking at this as, but you would think like I know Anthony Rizzo's older, like 34, 35, but what do they have at first base that they're not making that move? Like you said, the market was low on
Right.
Alonso, but Rizzo's still out there too, and he's practically begging through the media for somebody to
Who
sign
was
him.
who was at first base mostly last year? Was it Rowdy for the
Yeah,
Pirates?
yeah.
Yeah.
Even like in the early part of the year where he was getting booed, they was still running him out daily. It was bad, and then all of a sudden he just clicked and he started hitting in the second half of the
Yeah.
year. It was completely different.
Yep.
But yeah, he he had a rough go last year.
Yeah, he's not that's not somebody I would slot into an everyday role.
No, he did sign somewhere though. I did see that he just signed, I think recently.
Yeah, I can't say I'm up to date on my Rowdy Telez transactions, but oh, there you go.
There's no Tawny rookie for the Angels. And the Angels going to James.
There you go, James.
Any Otani rookie's a good hit.
Absolutely.
That guy's just something else. Like it's a completely different level between him and everybody else in sets.
Yeah. Yeah, his market is just insane.
Yeah.
Like even if you like get any product from this year, it's so crazy how, inflate. I mean, and rightfully so. But like even just to have like a God-given chance to try to try to hit something is tough.
Yeah,
That
he was something like it's just we saw Matsui and Ichiro and all those guys come over and they all had successful years. So whenever Otani came over, we thought, yeah, he's big talk, he's gonna be good, but how good's he gonna be? And he is different.
Yep.
He's not the same as anybody else. Future stars, Bo Bichette.
I think he's gonna have a good year this year. Bichette. I think this is a turnaround. He's looked great in spring. I think he's one of the leaders in home runs in spring. I mean, not that it matters so much, but at least a good sign. But I think he has at least 4 or 5 already. Like he looks good. He looks good.
I think more so than the stats, it's just important that he's seeing the ball well.
Without a doubt. Yep.
Makes it happy for Blue Jays fans. There's a bet of $3.99. Now I saw he had to come back home from that series. I guess they said an illness.
Yeah, he was sick. Yeah, he was sick. Yep.
Well, that's good news for the Dodgers. That he'll probably be ready next week.
I mean, and there's no need to push. Like, I get that they're regular season games, but the way they set it up, like, I get, Major League Baseball is trying to expand, their reach, kind of like what the NFL does every year with the London games and the Germany games. But for the start and stop, I don't like.
Yeah,
Right? Like, it's
I don't care for
opening
that
day,
either.
and then you get opening day 2.0. Like, I just want to start the season. It's just, I don't know. There's got to be a better way to do it. To not do it in the middle of spring and then stop. Right. We have another week of spring training, and then we go again.
Is this a guy that you would be willing to take a risk on a daily play early in the season after what he's shown in spring? Casey Mize.
I mean,
He's added pitches.
He was such a highly touted prospect that I remember the day he got called up, because I used to do a lot of appearances for MLB Network.
Okay.
From 2020 to about 2023. And I remember the day that he got called up, it was like nonstop coverage about Casey Mize is coming up. And he's shown flashes here and there, but he just hasn't been able to like consistently put it together at the major league level. But if he does, the Tigers have a legit rotation if he does, because you got Scooble, you got Flaherty who's coming back, and then Casey Mize. Like, you got something there if he can put it together. He's got the stuff clearly. Just hasn't been able to do it at the major league. It happens. It happens sometimes.
I mean, we thought
actually you're probably familiar. You know who I always think about when I think about that? You might be familiar. Remember Craig Hansen?
Why do I know that name? I don't remember, but I remember the name.
So the Red Sox had him. He was like one of the top draft picks, and then I believe he got traded to the Pirates. And he was like a bullpen arm, but he was like one of the big prospects, and he just absolutely fizzled at the major league level. Could never, ever put it together, and he was so highly touted. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he wasn't traded to the Pirates. I feel like he was, though. I'll have to check that later, but that's somebody I always think about, that just so highly touted and just could never put it together at the major league level.
I mean, we had that here with Glasnow. He just couldn't throw strikes. So they traded him away, and now he's, one of the top
strike
players.
Machine.
Yeah. Now he's a 200 strikeout guy.
Yeah.
Here we have Chadwick Trump, autograph for the Giants.
All right, Giants, let's go. We got some ink. Not the ink you probably wanted, but we got some ink.
Well, we do have 2025 Series 1 coming up, and that's
yes.
Barry Bonds is in this year, so.
Oh, I love that so much. I want one of those so bad. But yeah, the market is just crippling for what they want for those. But it's such an awesome insert. It's such an awesome insert.
There's Isaac Paredes, rookie. He had a down year too, but I heard that he's looking good in the spring. So.
Who was that? Sorry.
Isaac Paredes.
Oh yeah.
Batting back up.
Yep. You know what? I mean, he's going to be one of those guys that's just going to be so up and down, but he's going to hit you, 25, 30 bombs. You got to take the good with the bad with somebody like him.
Strzemski blue refractor, number 150. Now, the Red Sox have had a little bit more success recently than us Pirates fans. But whenever you see a guy like Bogarts somewhere else doing what he's doing, does it kind of like make you a little bit sick that the Red Sox didn't keep him? Or are you like, the money, I understand.
Yeah, the money was way too much. Like, he was, he's a good fielder, but it just goes back to like the value of these players. Like, if all things are normal, Bogarts is nowhere near that type of contract. The length, the price, it's crazy. And especially when you have like the prospects that they have now, it's like, well, Bogarts is not going to be your shortstop of the future like he was at a time, and he was here for a long time, but that it's time to move on. And the Padres are, because it's already been rumblings that the Padres are looking to trade him, and they're in like year 3 of that monster contract. It's buyer's remorse already. It's tough. So I was sad to see him go, but the contract made it easier. The contract made it like I'm okay with this. Like, I'm okay with losing him, because with the prospects that they have and the guys that they have coming up, like you won't even think about him in a couple of years from now.
Yeah, it's different as a Pirates fan, because like we see, they tell us these guys are the future, and then they don't perform, they get traded, and then they actually do perform somewhere else. So it's more of a developmental issue, it feels like, in Pittsburgh. But
yep,
with those teams, it's guys that have developed and won championships. This is pretty nice. We got a Derek Jeter captain patch for Joe Girardi, the Yankees. Derek Jeter's final season commemorative patch.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't even realize those were a thing.
I
It's from
mean,
2020. I probably opened up 10 of them and forgot about it.
this was the first product that I purchased. This was my first trading card box,
There you go.
and
2020
I
update.
still stayed after that because I remember it was not good. I don't think I kept anything.
How about him too? Aristides Aquino. He came out
Oh,
mashing home runs and then disappeared.
Steve, I will tell you, I wish I had that. I had this prepared. I have more Aristides Aquino memorabilia autograph cards in my collection, not on purpose, like just from because you know what it was. When I first started collecting, I loved Panini Chronicles. I just
Okay.
loved that set, and they were loaded with Aquino like hits. Like I felt like it was almost guaranteed. Like it should have been on the box. Like you will get an Aristides Aquino hit in this box. So I was like rooting for the guy because I'm like, well, if he starts doing well, I'm set. I got so much, and they're probably not even worth my morning coffee at this point. I think he plays in Japan. I don't quote me on that, but I feel like I heard he's overseas now. But granted, his stuff is worthless, and like
Yordan Alvarez rookie.
that Alvarez base card is worth more than all my Aquino stuff in the back room. I guarantee it.
Oh, I think we all have those guys that we bought and we
Yep.
just kept hitting and hitting and hitting. It's like,
Yep.
man, I hope this guy does something. Ethan Small, black border, Stanton, gold foil. Yeah, we definitely all have those. But
Yep.
to your point, whatever, because I got out of collecting for a while, and then I got back into it, and then I met my wife, and we were at a card shop on the other side of the state, and I was buying stuff, and she bought a box of Allen and Ginter, and must have been 2017, and her first ever box that she bought, and I'm like, I wish you wouldn't have bought that. Like, you don't even know what you're buying, and she hit a Derek Jeter rip card. And she's like,
Oh
"Do we
wow.
rip it?" And I'm like, "No, sell it, get your money back, and then don't buy
Yeah.
boxes anymore because you don't know what you're buying." And she sold it. She bought
Very
another one.
supportive.
Yeah, she sold it. She got another one. Well, she only bought it because she knew I liked opening them. And then she hit. I think it was Dave Winfield and I think Henderson, a dual rip numbered to like 20.
Wow.
And I'm like, those are case hits, and you pulled two out of two boxes. And then she's been hooked ever since. So like now if I go too long without buying boxes myself, she's like, "Are you bringing boxes home soon?" So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we definitely have a lot of players that's like, man,
Yeah.
I wish they'd have done more from buying over the years. Game used jersey of Matt Chapman, the A's. Devin Williams rookie. Oh, they're saying he might not be the closer for the Yankees at the start of the year.
Yeah, that's odd. It must be because they made him shave his beard. Is
Well,
the only thing I can think of.
I think his back is still an issue. So he's
Yeah.
having that issue, and for a pitcher, that's probably not a good sign.
Right. And again, it's just the Yankees are the walking wounded already
Yeah,
to start this year, and it's for them to still be the favorites on DraftKings, I think is crazy.
yeah. I guess the reason why the Orioles aren't as favored as they were, or maybe as people should be on them, is because they lost Corbin Burns. But
Yeah.
they brought other pitchers in. I'm sure they have. They don't have another Corbin Burns, but I think they're hoping that those guys can combine to give them something similar to what they got from Burns.
But
And
you know what? It's kind of like I feel like that's how it was set up because they're just so stacked in the minors that like it was going to be we're going to go through a tough period, but in a few years we're going to have all these kids come up and we're not going to have to spend a dime and we're going to be competitive. And I don't know if that was the mentality. That's kind of what it feels like, but they didn't do much in the offseason. They don't need to. They didn't need to. Like, of course, you'd love to replace somebody like Corbin Burns, but I don't like them any more or less with or without him. I think they're just such a good, solid for them to be and perform as well as they have, for as youthful as they have. They'll be fine. They'll be okay.
Now, here I didn't get to see a lot of Orioles games. I watched a few whenever the call up happened of Jackson Holiday because we got him on TV, but I didn't get to watch him a lot. Did you see something there? I know he struggled a lot last year. Do you think it was just his first taste kind of overwhelmed him? Or do you
I
think
think, yeah, I totally overwhelmed him. I think he was totally overwhelmed because you know what? I mean, that's something that you and I will never, experience or a average person will experience. But the amount of hype around you, and you know it, and now you feel like you have to go and perform, And I think that that's something that's just so hard to overcome, no matter how poised or how talented you are. I think that was one of the biggest issues, and I think because when he came up the second time, completely different player. He looked completely different and in a good way. He's a talented kid. They're set for years with him. It just runs in the family apparently because his brother is also like extremely talented as well.
yeah, everybody's saying
Um,
Ethan's going to be one of the top picks coming
yeah.
up.
So I have total faith that he'll be fine. And honestly, as crazy as it sounds, even if he isn't, the Orioles have so many ridiculous prospects that if Holiday doesn't step up, somebody else will, like Kerstad or Mayo. It's crazy how deep that farm system is.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they felt comfortable enough to there's a variant of or image variation of Chris Bryant. It's kind of crazy that they felt comfortable enough to trade Connor Norby because they're so deep. I
Yep.
mean, Norby's saying in camp for the Marlins that he plans on hitting what 280, 30 home runs. So I mean, he's
Yeah.
confident.
Yeah. I mean, in Miami, nobody will notice if he doesn't. So if he doesn't come through on his promise, nobody will notice. But yeah, I mean, for most clubs, that's your top prospect.
Yeah.
The Orioles are like, yeah, we can go without him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be okay. We're deep enough.
As I remember seeing that last year, I was like, man, I would love. I mean, we were pumped to get York from the Red Sox. He's probably the best hitting prospect we have.
Yep. York, and I'd love to see more out of Nick Gonzalez if possible. He's somebody that I collected early, when his first moments were coming out and stuff. I like him a lot. I don't know if he's going to be a big power guy or anything. He might be like more of like a, 10, 12 home run type guy, but I liked his stuff in the minors. I hope he can kind of put it together at the major league level.
Yeah, I mean, he had flashes last year where he looked like, all right, this
Yeah.
guy's gonna be really good for us. I think he's another one that whenever we faced the lefty, he was mashing the ball. So it's hopefully he becomes more than just the guy that they have to take out every
Yep.
couple days. But
What
yeah,
was that Bregman card? What was that?
it is a cloth patch. They had
I don't
those.
remember. Was that in all the boxes?
No,
I was gonna say I don't remember that. It
no.
looked like someone knit it. I was like, what on earth was that?
Yep. I had Judge and I think Acuna in that from that year. Here we have a Juan Soto black refractor, number to 199 for the Nationals. But yeah, I don't know. I saw that contract for Soto, and I was like, it doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, like I said, I don't follow it as deep as you guys do. It didn't make sense to me that the Mets were going to go all in like that, especially since they just traded all the old pitchers that they gave all that money to. But I mean, I guess he's still young, so
I like to me, it's like if you have the opportunity to get him, then you have to get him. You have to get him. I mean, he's a generational talent.
Yeah, I just hope it's not just the Mets throwing money to try to make their fans think, hey, we're in this. They're really not.
I mean, they've done it multiple times, like you mentioned it when they had Verlander and Scherzer, and they had to trade both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be honest, like that year was such just a injury ridden year for them that on paper it was the right moves. It just doesn't work out like that sometimes, and that's just they were a victim of that, and they did put it this way. I like what they did by getting rid of those guys. That to me sent the right message, like, hey, we messed up. We got to start over here. We're going to get whatever we can for these guys. And they did. They got, I believe that's how they got Luis Acuna's brother. I think he was in one of those trades. So
Okay.
if I feel like it was, and if I'm wrong, my apologies, but I feel like that's how they got Luis Angel Acuna, who is a great prospect. So yeah, because I think he was from Texas.
I
So
think
I,
so.
I feel
Yeah.
I feel like that makes sense. If I and I'm just spitballing here, but I mean that's a great return for somebody that could be, an outfielder of your future.
Yeah, I mean, they say he walks at a tremendous rate too. Like he's very patient and hits really
Yep,
well. So I mean, that's not a bad guy to put into your lineup if he
without a
if he
doubt.
develops for you. Now I'm sure if Pittsburgh would get a guy like that, he'd just kind of fizzle out. But he could be
You're
the
too
greatest
hard
player
on
in the
your
world.
you're too hard on your hometown team.
He'd be the greatest player in the world, and he just wouldn't do anything here till they traded him. But
You got to be more optimistic. This is the best time for you guys. You should be happy.
yeah, and then we got Jared Jones hurt. So
Well, I know. But the brighter days are on the horizon. It's been misery for years. You got to be a little. I know you're scorned and you're scarred, but things are
we're
looking
all
okay.
waiting because we know that we're not gonna win anything like within the
Yeah.
next 2-3 years, and then we know that they have to trade away Paul Skeens, and it's like it's so brutal to know that like he's not gonna
Yeah.
be around long term. There's an Acuna first paper. It's rough. I wish baseball had a way to not have that be a problem, but I don't see that
Yeah.
changing anytime soon. So. And a lot of those
Now,
smaller market teams are content with just getting the money from the big guys. So
Oh, absolutely. Now, didn't this set also have like minis as well?
yeah,
Because I have definitely seen like mini first Bowmans for Acuna.
yes, yeah.
Now, did they come in a separate set? Do you know, or?
No, they're parallels. I don't remember the odds.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if I ever had one in my collection. I know I had a bunch of the Judge rookies from Bowman from buying. Again, my wife got into it with me in 2017, so we bought a lot, and
Yeah.
I know I had a lot of the Aaron Judge rookies from Bowman.
Because I remember, the only reason I remember that so well is because I bought a Acuna first Bowman, but it was the mini, and I didn't realize. So when it showed up, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Then do some research, and I'm like, "Oh, there's also mini versions of this." So, but I never I never realized if it was a part of the set or if it was something separate.
I believe it was parallel in the set.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't think I ever had any in my collection, so maybe I'm wrong there. There's Alex Gonzalez, 70th anniversary.
Yeah, that's somebody I haven't heard in a long time.
Yeah. I was like playing the show, as a fan of the game, you see so many guys that like I just forgot about.
Yeah.
If they were playing that game. It's like, oh man, I loved watching him play. So it's definitely like not so much in these products because I tried to keep it newer to avoid any expired redemptions, but the opening up older products from like the 90s and stuff are so much fun. Even though there's not really a whole lot of value in those boxes, it's so much fun to go back and open the guys that I watched growing up. Like,
yep,
that's fun for me.
When we were briefly breaking cards over at DraftKings, I was breaking every day, and for a little while we were breaking like 92 Fleer basketball. You want to talk about stuff that has no value other than like the Shaq and the MJs. Holy crap, that was, and those boxes had like 400 cards, and it was just, and they all are stuck together. And granted, I'm sitting here complaining about breaking cards, like, get with it, Steve. But like, holy crap, that was miserable because people come on there and they would buy it, and I'd be like, oh my god, like, in the queue we got the 92 Fleer, and I'm like, God sakes, like it would take like an hour, Steve. I'm not even joking. Like, it was awful.
There are definitely new releases that come out where Brett and I, we have our sales meeting and we're like, we don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Those products you won't see us breaking. We're not going to mention them. We're just going to say we don't break those products.
Yeah. Hey, I get you. I thought I'd be in the clear with trashing the 92 Fleer set at least. I feel like we're past the point there.
Yeah, I don't think Fleer's coming after us. Number 98 of 150 or 250 rather, Eloy Jimenez. Another guy.
But we do love you, Tops and Panini, so no worries.
Eloy Jimenez, there's another guy that just did not reach his potential.
Guy's always hurt. The guy was, we talk about guys who are made of glass. Like, that guy is made of something that's even more fragile than glass. It's crazy.
He signed a minor league deal. Was it with the Rays?
I was just trying to think of where it was. I think he's on a Florida team. He's either with Miami or the Rays. But yeah, he's on a minor league deal. Same with Tim Anderson. He's also on a minor league deal. Just the White Sox either traded away their guys or they just totally fell off. It's kind of crazy how that team just got dismantled like that.
Yeah, it was something that the White Sox went down hard.
Yep.
They just, I don't know. It's weird to see something like that happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, at least everybody was making fun of them and not us last year.
Well, I mean, right, yeah, right. I mean, Houston could be heading in that direction. They're not there yet, but there's definitely some chinks in the armor coming through now. Altuve is playing the outfield, which I'm still trying to piece together. I don't know why we're doing this. He's looked terrible. Him and Jason Dominguez have looked awful in the outfield. But the pitching is coming down. Valdez, I think, is on the last year of his deal. They're not there yet. They're not a bad team yet, but it's starting to be like, well, we got to start thinking about the long term now about, for this team, if we want to stay in contention, because that division gets better and better every year with Seattle and Texas, and the A's went out and spent some money like that. That's going to be a tough division in like 2-3 years.
All that power in their lineup. I mean, are they a team that just, I mean, they might not have the guy that's going to hit 50, but are they a team that could hit the most home runs in the majors just because they have so many guys that could hit 30?
They got a lot of power, man. They really do. Yeah, I'll tell you one of the bets that I have, and I don't talk about this in public much because it's a little embarrassing. One of the first bets I made this year was Oakland over their team win total, because I think they're going to be there. It's off the board right now, but I think they're going to be there.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they got to, because it was, as you imagine, it was deathly low.
Oh,
but
yeah.
They made some good moves this offseason. They're going to be a team that I think you're going to, it'll come June and you're like, oh, they're still kind of in it a little bit, like it's surprising.
I was listening to some coverage of their projected home run totals, and I think like the first 6-7 guys were all projected like 24 to 29 home runs.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like you just don't think that too much.
Right.
And they're playing in a minor league ballpark, are they not?
Yes,
so
they are.
It might be a little bit smaller of a fence too.
Yep. All right, this is the box. This is the box I've been waiting for. This is my favorite.
The 2022 Sapphire.
We got to get some good stuff out of here. We got to hit all the teams that need to hit in this one. We got to hit Seattle. We got to hit KC. We'd rather not hit Tampa. We can put that aside. But we got to hit all the good teams in this one.
We won't discuss those reasons.
Steve, I kid you not. I kid you not. And this is a really sad story. I have only bought a case of cards once in my life. It was the 2022. And it's all still sealed. And it's going to stay sealed. Because I can't even bear it anymore. Well, but what a waste of money. Holy crap.
Like, I can see, like, 2022 value, like, it obviously the boxes have dropped a lot. I think people see, Wander Franco, and they're like, I'm not buying that. But
that's why I got it.
Earlier, it's like, there's also Bobby Witt and Julio Rodriguez in those products, too. So, I mean, they're not in all of them, but those guys are two of the best guys in the league. Here we have Luis Garcia, number to 25. The Nationals have that sneaky young good team too. I don't know if they have.
They're getting there.
Staff.
They're getting there. I love the James Wood acquisition when they traded Soto. That was a good one. And then obviously Dylan Cruz is good stuff too as well.
We did not get our autograph in there.
Is it guaranteed in that box?
I might be thinking of 21 where it's guaranteed.
Yeah, I don't know if it's guaranteed in that.
It might not be in that one. I think that one was the two parallels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I think it stopped for a little while. Then they started the guaranteed autos in 2023 again, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they had them in 21, and I'm trying to remember who the big hit in 21 was. It wasn't as good as the hits of Julio or Bobby Witt, obviously.
Yeah.
Those guys were just bigger. But I think 21, whenever it released, it was Kelnick that everybody wanted.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, and obviously.
Well, 2022 also had that controversy with the Topps Chrome where they forgot to add all the short print rookies, and that's when the silver pack was kind of the big thing.
Yep, it regained its recognition. And
yeah,
Because I know, like, we do the, I do a lot of breaks with the 18 silver packs, and I
Yep.
don't know if everybody realizes, like, we pulled a lot of Otani rookie cards out of those silver packs, and I think the silver packs themselves maybe run right around 100, maybe a couple bucks over, but the Otani rookie sells for that. So, like, if you pull
Yeah.
the Otani, like, you're doing well, and if you pull a parallel or an autograph of Otani, you're doing
Right.
amazing. So
Yeah.
they're definitely a good chase.
Yeah, because I remember those silver packs for 2022 were selling for over $100 when they first came out. It's like that's so crazy for 4 cards and a chance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like to drop a hundo on that, then you end up getting like 4 base. You get your guys that you've never even heard of. They're probably already out of the league, and I mean, it's a chance you take.
Yep,
Chance you take.
that's who I would have gotten. That's not
Right,
in here. I would have pulled like all the top cards, but whenever I bought it for myself, I would have
right.
gotten the guys you never heard of.
Oh yeah, when I was breaking cards, I'd be pulling downtowns, I'd be pulling short prints. I get my own case, and I'm getting that guy from the Rockies we pulled twice in the gallery box.
We already forgot his name.
Jesus Tarico, whatever the hell it was.
Ty Black rookie. Tom Murphy tops gold. Now the Judge base rookie is in series 1 in these, but he does have autographs and he has other cards in series 2. So we can pull Judge in here. It's not going to be the flagship rookie, but he is in the
Yep.
set. I think he was a redemption in series 1 anyways, so
Oh, was he really?
yeah, we don't want to pull that.
No.
That's a heartbreaker to pull those.
Yeah.
A lot of his anytime you buy 2017 stuff, it's good to do a little bit of research on it.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Speaking of redemptions, that's a Maplewood parallel, which I'm pretty sure is numbered low. And that's Francisco Lindor. You can contact Tops, see if they'll give you something in return there. But it is an outdated.
Yeah, so what happens with that? Are they usually pretty good about it?
I've never done it. I know people that have and that have had success. People have told me that they were told, well, who's your favorite team or whatever, and then they get a care package. I've seen people post in Facebook groups where they get like a care package of just random hobby packs, and usually they have a hit in them. I had one that I pulled, and this is not an exaggeration at all. I pulled an autograph out of Allen and Ginter one year, and it was one day after the expiration.
Oh my God.
It wasn't anybody like major. It was like a $20 autograph.
Yeah.
But just to see, I emailed them and they was like, nah, it's expired.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So with my experience, it wasn't great, but everybody else seems to have a much better experience than I do with it. But it didn't go for me. I was told if you send them in or if you put it online, you kind of have a better chance than if you talk to somebody.
Sure, yeah.
I think whenever you talk to somebody, they just kind of want to get you off the phone.
Yeah.
Kind of customer service everywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that was our autograph for this box. And again, I think that one was numbered really low. I think because of the value of that, like Lindor's a good player, and that's, I think, a lower numbered.
I was trying to see if I could find the number for it, but I wasn't getting a clear answer.
There's a Judge. 87 Tops Judge rookie.
There you go.
I knew we had rookies of Judge in here. I just couldn't remember what they were. I put this break together a month ago, so I can't remember everything about it. I do all the research on all these products, and I get almost immediately.
No, I loved the break when it got posted. I was happy to see it sold out about a week early. That was good. Very good.
That was a Glasnow rookie there. What do you think about the Dodgers? Do you think the Dodgers go to the 6-man rotation? And who do you think is going to be? Because, I mean, they even have more than 6, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And but like, especially for guys like Glasnow, Snell, like they could use a 6-man rotation to keep those guys healthy and everything. Like, basketball does it a lot with like the extra rest days and whatnot. Like there's no reason why they can't do that. And the only reason I would be against it is if it just throws, some guys can't throw after taking more than 5 days of rest. Some guys are just so accustomed to it that it's almost like in their DNA, and then they just, it's like when the guys say they can't pitch out of the bullpen. It's like it's no different, at the end of the day, but just their mentality, they can't do it. So it would make sense for them to do it. I think it would benefit the team a lot, but it's just crazy when it's like Glass now is your number 4 starter probably or whatever. Like that just shows how deep you are.
Yeah.
But I think it would benefit that team a lot if they want to keep those guys healthy. And if they do that, I think they're nearly unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean with Ohtani as well. I mean that's just another guy that's already had the 2 injuries. Just keep
honestly, hot take, keep him off the mound.
I feel the same way. I wouldn't put him back on the mound either.
After the season he just had, you add like the stolen bases to his repertoire. I mean, you don't need him on the mound.
Yeah,
keep him healthy.
That's the way I thought too, but I think he wants to pitch, and they're kind of just letting him do his thing. That's a nice card too. It's a commemorative team logo patch from Independence Day.
That's nice.
Mike Trout for the Angels. It's a nice one there. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get the risk versus reward there with Ohtani, because you have an MVP player that's done stuff that nobody's ever done, and he's only had 1 season doing it.
Right.
I ran out of sleeves. Let me grab some more sleeves right here.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, Jeremy. They haven't paid much for him yet. I think they.
Right. Yeah, Jeremy. They're free of paying him right now.
Yeah.
They're not paying him for years.
What happens first? Civilization on Mars, or Ohtani sees his money from his contract?
Oh yeah, Mars for sure. Mars.
We just those. I get people were upset about it, but I don't blame the Dodgers for doing that at all. It's something they're allowed to do. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, it's like Green Bay wanting to get rid of the tush push. It's like, well, you can do it too.
Yep.
Just because you can't defend it doesn't mean you can't try it.
Yep.
And granted, I don't think I want to see Jordan Love trying to do a tush push. I don't think that would go particularly well. But the rules don't say you can't do it. So, but it did too, because like once that Ohtani thing happened, it set off a wave of deferrals. Mm-hmm. And it now it's part of the game, and it's like it's obnoxious a little bit. I mean, I will say it's not my favorite thing to see, but you know what? If it's legal, why not? Like, I mean, you're not taking advantage of anything. It is what it is.
It's not exactly new either. I mean, Griffey and Bonilla were getting paid years after retirement. So
yep, Manny Ramirez is still getting checks. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Albert Bell does too. If I'm not mistaken, from the White Sox, or maybe the Guardians. But it's like, I mean, it's something that's been around for a long time. Those guys played 30 years ago, and they're still getting money. So
I literally feel like they forgot about it, and then somebody was like, "Hey, we can do that deferral thing, by the way," and they were like, "Oh yeah," and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, like we should do this."
Like, why did we stop doing this then?
Right.
I think the reason were because like the guys looking at Albert Bell and Bobby Bonilla getting paid 30 years down the line was like, oh yeah, that's why we stopped doing it. Like,
right. Yep.
We don't want to be paying those guys down the line. Which, I mean, with Soto's contract till he's 41, the Mets might be doing that again. So.
Yep.
As great of a player as he is, it's just he's not going to be that player.
No, that's why it's to me, like, having Soto under contract until he's 41, like that just has Pujols' name written all over it. After a while, it's like, Christ, you can just get this guy off the field, That's gonna be Soto one day.
Yep. Yeah, Albert Pujols at the end of his Angels run there was not the Albert Pujols that we all loved watching in St. Louis. Even
so I assume you've broken a ton of this already, correct?
Yes.
Have you pulled the Bonds insert yet?
I have not pulled a Bonds.
They're really tough.
Pretty much everybody. I haven't pulled a Bonds yet.
Wow. Yeah, they're really tough.
Yeah. We have Wyatt Langford here, the player worn memorabilia. I do like the 90s look.
Yeah, me too.
90 look. That's.
Yep.
brings me back to whenever I first was collecting. Those were the kind of cards that we were getting in packs. So
Yep, 100%.
it's like a Leaf brought back the Pro Set, and I love it. And they brought back Press Pass, and I love it because I used to love those cards back in the day. So to see those brands coming back again, I'm a huge fan of that.
I haven't collected a lot of Leaf, but I do like that series they have where it's like all the celebrities are in it. I don't know what it's called off the top of my head. I'm sure you know.
Yeah, Pop Century.
Yeah, that set is cool. Like I like that set a lot.
Yep.
I like that set.
To be honest, I still haven't bought it, but I've watched it on eBay probably a million times. Roger
Yeah.
Daltrey had an autograph in one of those in 1 year.
What?
And I saw that in this year's, one of the early names they released a couple. Anthony Hopkins is in this year's, and
Wow.
Ozzy Osbourne is in this year's.
Wow.
And I think that's going to be his first autograph since he had autographs in the Osbourne show that was made by like Inkworks. So that's that's got to be a pretty penny, I think, for that Ozzy whenever it starts getting pulled.
Wow. Well, what turned me onto it is that I don't know if it's from that set, but I know it was from Leaf. Was the Stone Cold Steve Austin auto?
Yep, he was in there.
And I was like, oh, okay, I might like this. I might like this.
Well, the last wrestling set they put out had The Rock in it, and he signed as Dwayne
okay.
Johnson because he didn't have the name of The Rock yet.
Oh.
And those boxes only gave one autograph per box, and the price on those went so high because it was the first that you could pull The Rock.
Oh, wow.
Forever. And then Topps, of course, getting back to WWE now, they have him signing as The Rock and putting all the inscriptions and stuff. But yeah, those Leaf ones, they were a hot product. And I've always been a fan of Leaf wrestling. In my own set, like my PC at home, I have the Young Bucks dual autograph, I think from 2016 Leaf Wrestling. I have an Omega Leaf Pearl autograph. So like I collect a lot of the Leaf stuff, and yeah, it's definitely have some nice ones throughout the years for sure. This is Shea Whitcomb, Major League Material, rookie for the Astros. Hey, Adam. Yeah, I think the coolest one I've pulled, like not the most valuable, but the coolest card I've pulled from here is I've pulled a couple of the numbered to their jersey number, where it has the number that he wears all in the background. I pulled Judge on that, I think on release day.
Oh, okay. Really is that a case hit? Are those case hits?
No, they're more rare than that because I opened.
Oh,
I want to say I've opened like 20 cases between. Actually more than that. I've opened close to 30 cases between Hobby and Jumbo combined, and I only pulled 2 of those.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of the logo, the team logo border case hit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think that's what I was thinking of. Got it.
Yep. Those are nice too. Some
I do like those a lot.
Really nice on those products.
Yep.
Ezekiel Tovar, number 2025. Now I'm somebody with my fantasy teams. I always make the mistake of they're playing at Coors, and I think I overdraft every Rockies player.
Yeah. That narrative needs to go away because Coors numbers have been down for years, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I know. And I do the research on that and see that those numbers have come down, and it's still whenever I'm in the draft, if I'm close on 2 guys, I'm like, oh, he's playing at Coors.
It's like when you go to a restaurant, the waitress asks you what you want, you panic, and you just do what comes natural, even though you want to try something new. That's what it's like in a draft. You panic. I'll just draft a Coors guy.
The Rockies are my chicken parm.
That's it.
Yeah, other stuff looks good, but man, that chicken parm.
Yeah.
I know what I'm getting there.
Yep. Oh, I'm gonna try something new. Oh, what would you like? That chicken parm. That's it.
There's a nice one. We've got a camo. Zach Eflin. The Orioles numbered to 25.
I love those.
Yeah. And that's something too that's Panini's done camo and a lot of stuff with their prisms. But Topps putting the number to 25 on them is pretty nice.
Yep, I love the camos, and I love those radiating rookies. Those are my 2 favorite. I think parallels right now. Those are awesome. You know what's interesting though? I feel like those aren't highly desirable, even though I feel like those are case hits, or that there are.
They're
I don't know if
tough
they're
pulls.
they're short prints. I know that.
Yeah.
But they don't seem that desirable on the secondary market. I'm kind of surprised.
No, there's a
Because I
few of
love the
those.
look of those.
Yeah, I've seen that with some of the Topps football products. You know, they've got a lot of the case hits now, and it's kind of like their versions of Kabooms or Downtowns or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, where they're putting in that case hit, they short print it, they want everybody to chase it, and some of them are really nice and sell for a lot, and some of them maybe it's just because there's so many, you know, the collectors pick and choose, but there's just some that don't have that secondary, and I'm sure as Topps is making more and more, they'll knock that down, they'll get the ones that are more desirable and do that too. But here's a 22 NT first off the line. I saved this for last because NT, it's first off the line, so we're never getting low numbered stuff there. Also, NT covers pretty much since baseball began. You know, you're gonna find memorabilia of everybody in National Treasures. Yeah. So it's nice stuff here. We do have a 1 of 1 on the back. I think it's an autograph. It's a Hall of Famer. We've got numbered 1 of 2. We have a patch of Logan Webb. There's our Giants
nice one
guy.
to start.
Yeah. Nice patch. Not sure what part of the logo that is, but it's nice. We have the Majestic logo patch. Luis Severino.
Wow, a lot of low numbers to start.
Yeah, those are really nice. And we have Gil Hodges, 4 of 49. Guess for the Dodgers there. Got our first autograph. Oh, that's nice. Nick Lodola, rookie patch auto, number 2 of 7. That's a really nice card. Lodola for the Reds.
That's nasty.
Yeah, I would like to see him pitch a full season as well.
If you hit this card and you're in the chat, find me. I will buy this off you. At SBuchanan24 on Twitter, I will buy this card. I love Nick Lodola. I will buy that card.
Another great pitcher. Again, like you mentioned, he's out right now, but rookie silhouettes, 59 of 99. Luis Hill. Was he the rookie of the year last year in the American League?
Unfortunately, that's who won it. That's who won it.
It was him. Yep.
Shameful.
Little Juan, die-cut material, Juan Yepez, 19 of 49.
What's up with that? They don't have to do Juan like that.
Yeah, I know. What
the hell?
Insert?
Little Juan?
He's in the big leagues, and they're calling him Little Juan.
That's messed up.
For the Blue Jays, rookie patch auto, Kevin Smith. Doesn't look anything like he did in Clerks. Number 99.
Nice.
We have a jumbo material signature, 9 of 25, Alec Mills. That's a nice patch there for the Cubs, too.
Yep.
And I was right. It is an autograph. It is a 1 of 1 printing plate. It's a Hall of Famer. It's a Hall of Fame patch auto. Edgar Martinez, another guy that I loved to watch play. Edgar Martinez, 1 of 1. A little too thick to fit the top loader. That's a really nice hit there for Seattle. That one goes to Artley.
Nice one.
We do have 2 more things here. They're going to be some memorabilia hits. We have a 16 by 20, and we have a jersey, both from Gold Rush. Let's take a look here. We'll start with the 16 by 20. Oh, that's a big hit, too. That's going to be Cal Ripken Jr. I can switch the camera there so we can get a better look at that, too. We have a Cal Ripken Jr. autograph 16 by 20. I'm getting the glare on the lights.
That's awesome.
Awesome hit there. That's going to go to Baltimore. That's going to Phil. That's up there as one of the better hits of the break, I think.
Yeah.
Really
nice hit, Phil.
And we have a Gold Rush jersey here as well. And I think a lot of people are excited about this guy coming back, too. Matt McClain, the Cincinnati Reds. Beckett certified jersey. Looked really good in his rookie year, then got injured.
Yep.
Definitely a player that has a lot of potential there.
Absolutely.
All right. That does it for the boxes. Thanks again, everybody.